Welcome back to Dearborn, Michigan, and Hardball's live coverage of the Republican debate out here. Here's U.S. Congressman Ron Paul responding to Mitt Romney's suggestion he'd consult his lawyers before attacking Iran.
This idea of going and talking to attorneys totally baffles me. Why don't we just open up the Constitution and read it? You're not allowed to go to war without a declaration of war. Now, as far as fleeting enemies go, yes, if there's an imminent attack on us, we've never had that happen in 220 years. The thought that the Iranians could pose an imminent attack on the United States is preposterous. There's no way. This is just war propaganda. Continued war propaganda, preparing this nation to go to war and spread this war not only in Iraq but into Iran unconstitutionally. It is a road to disaster for us as a nation. It's a road to our financial disaster if we don't read the Constitution once in a while.
We're here with Republican presidential candidate Ron Paul. You know, I just know that there are people all over the country jumping up and down with glee. Now, they're not all Republicans. A lot of them are Democrats and independents. But how come the big number of people in this country who think this war was a huge mistake, who believe that all this talk of going to Iran is just war fever, that we're getting a big buildup of propaganda buildup to go to war, why don't they have, since they dominate the polls, why don't they dominate the politics?
I have no idea. You wonder about this, but they will be sucked into it every time. It's almost human history that they do. But they have to be feared. They have to build up fear, and that's what is happening now. It's that they're going to attack us, and that our enemy's another Hitler. And even though it doesn't exist, if you say it over and over again, how many times? Can
I suggest something? This is the choir in which I sing. The Vice President of the United States went on Meet the Press and programs like it, one after the other, talking about the fact that Saddam Hussein, this third world dictator, had a nuclear weapon that he was going to put on some sort of balsa wood plane and fly over and kill us with it. And on that basis, a lot of people said, oh, I guess we got to go to war.
That is true, and that means we should be more on guard, but we're not. That is history. I mean, this is the way it works. The governments have been doing this notoriously for a long, long time, and I'm just begging and pleading that people be alert. But, you know, in a way, we should be a little bit more optimistic about getting this message out. 70% of the American people want to come home from Iraq.
Yes, but we're not coming home because the politicians keep voting to fund the troops, and they have a real problem in restraining presidential authority. Now, what did you make of the fact that Governor Romney said, when asked whether he thought the president could actually start a war for strategic reasons, attack the nuclear facilities in Iran? Clearly, that would have required a resolution because it would involve a situation where we decide that somewhere down the road this country is going to be a threat to us. Deliberate decision should be cleared by Congress. And he says, I got to check my lawyer before I find out if I do that or not.
I was a bit outraged, as you recall. I just couldn't believe this was being said because I think there's so little respect for the Constitution. Matter of fact, I think to bomb somebody is an act of war, and you should have a declaration of war, not just a resolution. Just think of how many less wars we would have been fighting since World War II. We wouldn't have been fighting any of these wars if I had my way. Think of how many men and women would be alive today, how many would be not injured if we just followed the rules. Don't go to war unless you declare it.
But look at all the wars we've had. Under the Bushes, we've gone to war with the Panamanian dictator, with Noriega. We went to war with Grenada. That was supposed to be a threat.
Then you wonder why the South Americans have so little respect for us when we go in there and arrest a president and bring him up and put him in our prisons. I mean, it is just totally absurd.
A lot of people think like you. I dare not say I'm one of them. Anyway, thank you, Ron Paul.